This is the zone that we're paying attention to, at least tracking for possible early morning impacts. But this very dynamic system that we have set up, you've got this dip out in the Pacific, and that dip is offering at least the ability for us to see some rain. It's going to be persistent. This atmospheric river that we've been tracking, and Bain, we look at what we're dealing with in Central California all the way down into Southern California. We got to take our time with this thing because it's going to be lasting for a while.
Exactly. And of course, Northern California getting hit first with all of that rain. We've already started to see that coming in this morning, widespread showers. And we could see a decent amount of rain here, Stephen. I mean, we're talking potentially a month's worth of rain within just a couple of days.
It's crazy when you look at these prolonged rain events in California. It's hard to have 4 days in a row where you deal with rain. In fact, when we're looking at stats for Los Angeles, and we'll talk more about Los Angeles coming up at the bottom of the hour, you have to go all the way back to February of last year when there were 4 days worth of rain in a row.
It can be devastating for these areas, especially, first of all, a little bit on the drier end of things for this year. But on top of this, too, obviously, we have those burn scars from those fires in January, which it just devastated the area. But now when we even just get a little bit of rain, it can be catastrophic.
It's true. And from a moisture perspective, there is a multi-day threat here that we have setting up. And this threat that we've got already flood watches. And this speaks to the telestrator's a little off. My default is not the line. UKI, those are where some burn scars are in Northern California. Obviously, we've got them still in Los Angeles County. At the moment, we haven't seen watches go up. But I would expect as we head deeper into the forecast period, because it looks like the weekend is when things could be problematic for Southern California. Yeah,
I would expect that we could probably see some of those evacuations going into place as well, trying to get some folks out of there before the rain really starts to come down. You know, on top of this, too, we're going to be watching for a lot more of the rain, obviously, into the coast. And then in our higher elevations, different story. That's going to be more of that snow threat. But again, to your point, Stephen, this is a ton of rain, and it's going to be heavy at times, too. So even just trying to get around on the roads this morning, it's going to be a tough commute for a lot of folks.
We've already had that hose set up shop near the Bay Area, and that's always been the threat throughout the morning, watching some of this rain push on in. But there is some progression to the atmospheric river. I talked about how this is all going to slow down. That's really more so for Southern California than San Francisco. We're still going to be on the windy conditions on the wet side of things, but it is something to pay attention to. Now, to your point, when we're going to get that taken care of.
We're going to get the telestrator working in a second.
When we talk about the Sierra and you've got the heavy rain, you have to work up to about 8,000 feet before you're going to deal with snow. So at the moment, snow's not the huge threat. It's really the rain, but the snow is ultimately going to play into it as we get this low to deepen, move a little farther to the south.
Yes, so in days in advance, that's when we worry about the snow. But at this point, I mean, even looking at some of those rain totals here, Stephen, I mean, we could see a good 3 to 5 inches for a lot of folks.
And it's not just one day. So when we talk about this being prolonged, and it's possible that we could even see this extend into Sunday, but for today and for Friday, that shift farther south is what's going to occur. We've got even the excessive rain threat, that outlook into Northern California, Redding down to Sacramento, but then LA and Santa Barbara, through the Inland Empire in SoCal, that's where we're going to see by Saturday some of the threats grow.
Exactly. And on top of this, too, I mean, the winds are going to be strong. We're going to be dealing with a wind threat, too, like you had mentioned earlier. So, I mean, areas way up into the mountains could see gusts up to 100 miles per hour. That's way up high. That's way higher elevations. But even along the coast, need to be on alert for that, too. It's just going to be kind of an uncomfortable next couple of days. Gloomy, and then on top of that, that gustier winds. It's not going to be great for a lot of folks trying to travel right
Those
now.
atmospheric rivers always bring some increased winds, and you do have a pretty deep area of low pressure too. So that low that we have, you can clearly see where it's been spinning just out there in the Pacific, close to land. But the deeper that low is, the stronger you'll get with gradient winds. But that atmospheric river provides a substantial amount of wind energy, and we're going to see it already in the Bay. It's where we have all the alerts, and then we'll eventually see this move down into Southern California. And as that moisture streams in, a place like San Francisco, the next several hours will be under this threat. So it's a familiar pattern to them, though, because much of November has been soggy. This week, about 3 days or so, it's been dry, which has been kind of the anomaly to this whole picture.
Yeah, and this is kind of the start of the rainier season. They start to see this coming in, but I will say this is pretty intense for November. Usually they kind of see it more in the winter months. So something to watch out for. Of course, we'll be keeping you updated right here on Fox Weather throughout the next couple days.